Today is all about a very good way to redeem American Express membership reward points with Cathay Pacific AsiaMiles. We're going on Cathay Pacific First Class from Beijing to Hong Kong, but not only that, also something else after that, and that's actually the big secret. So here we go in the Boeing 777 of Cathay Pacific in first class from Beijing to Hong Kong. Welcome to the Plane Insider. I'm Chris from Travel Think Fly. Here you'll explore the world's airlines up close from economy to business and first class, filmed live on board, authentic and full of detail. You'll also discover stunning destinations across all continents and learn how to make premium travel possible through miles, points and insider know-how built over 25 years of experience. Honest, inspiring and entertaining. It's your inside view into aviation and travel. This is the Plane Insider by Travel Think Fly. Subscribe now and let's fly. Very much. Thank you so much. Thank you. The Cathay Pacific First Class is actually not exactly new. Quite old already, but still the seat is so nice because it's so wide. I mean, it's not a suite, it's not closed with anything, there's no doors, but the seat is wonderfully wide. You don't see other fellow passengers, and it's just very, very spacious and a very nice, real first class feeling. About 2 years ago, I already went on a first class flight with Cathay Pacific from Hong Kong to Europe, I think to Paris, and that was a really wonderful experience. Catering was just fantastic, very good champagne and everything very good, also including the staff. Very friendly, very professional, really a joy to talk to. And also here it is the same, very friendly crew, and that is especially very clear to see once you spend a few days in China or a few weeks in China, which is a great country, but it's not really the people's strength to be very friendly to each other. So that's my experience, at least. Every time I come to China, it's really a big effort to get some smile out of other people, so to speak. And also here it was the same. But once I stepped into the plane, everybody was friendly in an international way, and really that's a very nice thing. Before the flight I went to the lounge, and that's the brand new Cathay Pacific lounge here at the airport of Beijing, Beijing Capital Airport. It's actually quite a nice lounge in the typical Cathay Pacific style. However, they don't have showers, and that's especially bad if you went through security and passport control, etc. here in Beijing, because there's no fast lanes. I was wearing just way too warm clothes, and I waited about 1 hour altogether from check-in of the luggage until the gate. So I was completely soaking wet, sweating like crazy, and then there was no shower, I had nothing to change, so I just kind of air dried in between. Everything was dripping, so it was really not a nice image. Anyway, now let's have a look at the lounge, and then I think we're ready for takeoff. We still have a short moment until takeoff. We are number 2 in the waiting line. Just good moment to say something about this plane. This Boeing 777 of Cathay Pacific is 15 years old, and of course it flies internationally. Before coming to Beijing, it was in Melbourne, and in London and in Los Angeles. And here we go to take off. In the beginning of this report, I said already that I'm on a flight that is actually a very good way of redeeming miles with Cathay Pacific AsiaMiles, and also a very good way to redeem American Express membership reward points, which you can transfer to Cathay Pacific AsiaMiles. And this is actually Cathay Pacific First Class, but not only First Class. Of course, it's mostly a very good way to redeem miles by going on a first class trip. However, with Cathay Pacific AsiaMiles, there's a specialty when you go on a flight in first class and then onwards in business class, so with two different cabin classes, and you stay in the same zone, then the whole amount of miles gets reduced. For example, I'm flying here from Beijing to Hong Kong, but I go on in business class to Bangkok, which is still in the same distance zone, in the same distance band, and then the whole flight gets much cheaper. It goes to under 40,000 miles, because half the way is in business class, with just about 30,000 miles for the whole trip, and then I pay altogether less than 40,000 miles, even though I have that first class flight plus the continuing flight in business class. So that is really something very special, a fantastic way to redeem miles. This flight was part of a large-scale trip across Asia, starting with 6 weeks in Japan, where I sang a lead role in an opera world premiere at the Tokyo Opera House, followed by a dozen flights in low-cost economy class, business and first class, and my reliable travel partner was once again the wonderful luggage from my sponsor Level 8, which often surpasses the famous and expensive brands that I've all tried in my travels. For this XL trip, I chose the XL suitcase from Level 8's Voyager series. It accommodates even the most bulky items, and like all Level 8 suitcases, it rolls silently on its own smooth wheels, even at the maximum flight weight of 32 kilograms. Thanks to the smart handles, the Voyager suitcases don't cause back problems when lifting them into the trunk, and added to that is the robust Atlas backpack, which looks like new even after a year of ruthless treatment from my side, and it isn't bothered by even 14 kilograms of weight. But Level 8's carry-on luggage also looks great, not just the real eye-catchers from the Voyager series, but also, for example, the elegant aluminum Gibraltar suitcase, which also shows superb craftsmanship. If you're interested, check out the video description. Here you'll find a link and an exclusive discount code for channel viewers that will get you all Level 8 luggage and accessories at an exclusive discount. Have fun shopping and then enjoy some truly great luggage. What do you guys think about turbulences? I myself actually like them, because I know actually nothing can really happen if it's not really dangerous ones, but nothing normally can really happen. And maybe you've seen my Cathay Pacific First Class flight report from Hong Kong to Europe. There you could see some huge, beautiful wine glasses dancing like a ghost dance on the table. Cathay Pacific has these very nice big wine glasses, and we had incredible turbulences above northwestern China, where there's always pretty much turbulences actually, and there you could see this beautiful dance of the wine glasses. Check out the report, it's really worthwhile. Service has started with more champagne, and this is a really very nice champagne, and some amuse-bouche. That's kind of I think celery puree, and some salmon, raw salmon caviar if you like to say that. And I mean, this champagne is a really very nice one. It's not as famous as Krug or Dom Perignon, but it's in the same category when it comes to the taste. It's also not really cheap, to be honest. And that's a Bicard Saumon Cuvée Nicolas François. And this one is from 2006. And that's one of those champagnes that have really very rich-bodied taste, very nice on the palate, and they really deserve a big glass. It smells of honey and looks also very beautiful. So some champagnes, some Blanc de Blancs, for example, are very fine, of course, too. And sometimes you don't really understand the price, but here you really taste it and you understand already the price right away, that it is not one of the cheapest ones. A very nice, beautiful champagne. Lunch service has started now, and of course on this 3-hour flight we don't have a huge lunch service, but still very nice, very nicely done table with all kinds of breads, including garlic bread and some beautiful other handmade bread rolls. You can see that. Then there's some light cauliflower soup and or smoked salmon, which I have here, with golden beetroot salad. Then there's a choice of mains, that's Italian eggplant as a vegetarian dish. Then what I have is a prawn mousse stuffed chicken with osmanthus sauce. Looking forward to that. Or a pan-fried Chilean sea bass, so that's fish. And then there's some cheese and dessert, that's fruit, dark chocolate custard and pralines. And when it comes to the drinks, so we have the very nice champagne that I already talked about from Bicard Saumon Champagne House. Then there's 2 white wines, that's Chablis Grand Cru from Burgundy, white wine, a Riesling from Germany, that's a Riesling Großes Gewächs from the Mosel area, 3 red wines, that's Saint-Julien from Bordeaux, Chinese red wine from Ningxia, Cabernet Sauvignon, and Australian red wine as Shiraz from South Australia. And then as dessert wine we have a very nice Sauternes Grand Cru Classé from 2014. Of course also soft drinks, then the very nice signature drinks of Cathay Pacific, that's Cloud9 and Cathay Delight, and all kinds of spirits and non-alcoholic beverages. In the meantime, the main course has arrived, that is chicken breast filled or stuffed with shrimp mousse. And then there's some pak choy and some broccoli and jasmine rice and some Chinese chili paste, which he asked if I would like to have it. Of course I do. So beautiful. In the meantime, we've reached dessert, and that's some nice fruit platter and some nice cheese platter. And with it I asked for some red wine, and that is Chinese red wine. I really wanted to try that, and I already tried a little, and it's actually quite good. So that's a Canaan Winery Crazy Fang Cabernet Sauvignon from Ningxia province in China. And that wine is from 2013, and it actually has a very nice taste. It's not exactly cheap, of course, this is first class, but It's always a little hard to tell in the air if a wine is really amazing or not, but I mean the bouquet is already really, really nice, and also the taste is very nice. You can maybe taste it. It's maybe not like a century-long tradition, but it's a very good wine. And I had no idea that there's some wine tradition now in China. I mean, this wine has been in the barrel for 12 years now, so that's quite good. Very nice wine. Of course, in first class the bed is really very, very good. It's very wide here because the seat of Cathay Pacific is extra wide. You can see here just endlessly wide. And then there's also really unlimited space for the feet because they're completely free, and that is not always the case in first class. For example, in Emirates first class you have the feet under the seat in front of you, so there's much less space, really much less space than here. So this is really pretty fantastic. I just got served some pralines and with it some Sauterne. That's a wonderful dessert wine. It's a Chateau Rieux Sec Grand Cru Classé Sauterne from Bordeaux from 2014. And I think the pralines I will just keep for the hotel. But the Sauterne is just wonderful, really nice. Everything in life has a good side and a not so great side, and the not so great side about this flight is of course that it's not long enough. I mean, you can experience so much on this 3-hour long flight, but of course I have to talk all the time because it's for this channel but also for the German channel, for my German channel. So I do all the talking for both channels, and of course I do also mistakes, so I have to repeat and repeat again. Anyway, now just before landing I just asked for another serving of this wonderful sparkling tea because it's so special, and they really do it only for Cathay Pacific First Class. So they do the tea for 5 days actually, and then they put jasmine flowers on top of it, so it doesn't have only this beautiful color but also an incredible scent and smell. Just wonderful. I will try to get some of this tea in Hong Kong or at the Cathay Pacific shop. I hope I get it. I'll see. Anyway, such a beautiful experience. So the captain said we're descending into Hong Kong already. How was this flight? The staff was just wonderful. Very nice, very friendly, very attentive, proactive. So that's not always the case in other airlines. So that was really a very nice experience. And I think with this, they are just on par with Singapore Airlines here in Asia. There's no other airline that is on that top level. as Cathay Pacific and Singapore Airlines. So really fantastic, and you can see that this crew really has this profession for a lifetime, not just for a few years. Sometimes when you look at Qatar Airways or Emirates, you have a feeling they are just for a little career jump, and that was it. But here you can really see they're here for the whole lifetime. It's their passion, it's their lifelong profession, and I would really give my life into their hands if there's an emergency, because they really know what to do in that case. Now, this was a 3-hour flight and we had very good food. Of course, you didn't get the caviar service that you would get on a long-haul flight to Europe, for example. But the food was very good, very high quality. And the drinks were very good as well. Really first-class drinks, very good white wine, interesting Chinese red wine, very good champagne, and of course this wonderful sparkling tea that you only get in first class of Cathay Pacific, so it's quite special already. So, and then the seat. It's not private when it comes to like having a door or like ceiling high walls or something like that. You do not get that here, but you have really good privacy here, and you have a very spacious seat. You don't have any obstruction for your feet, so that is all really, really very nice. Altogether, a really nice flight. I would do it again, but if you go even further, let's say to Bangkok in business class, and it's less than 40,000 miles, and then it's a really, really good bargain you should really do. And here we've landed at Hong Kong International Airport. What an interesting flight, and I'm really glad that I booked Cathay Pacific First Class again, so I can show it to you what you can do with your miles and with your points, maybe from American Express, maybe from another bank. I hope you really enjoyed this report. If yes, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments. There's much more behind each of my videos than meets the eye. Nothing is produced quickly or haphazardly here. That's why this channel is different. Every shot, every edit, every piece of research is done by hand with a lot of time, passion and attention to detail. If you appreciate this, then please subscribe to the channel right now, and if you would like to support me further, leave me a super thank or buy me a coffee or two with a little link on the screen. This will help me continue producing honest, independent airline reports and travel videos. Thank you so much for being part of this, because without you, much of this would not be possible. And one really interesting report would be this one over here. Check it out right away. I'm Chris. Thank you for watching.